welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. So I was planning on filming something completely different just now, but then I sat down and I just really felt like fall. I don't know why. I was gonna film like something completely different, but I decided to sit down and film this. I just felt really inspired, and I've been seeing a lot of like this really deep lip, and I've just been dying to do a look with a deep lip, and I was like, what better time than right now? On a side note, I'm like super duper over my hair. I feel like it's looked the same since high school. Like I've been wearing it long and curled since like high school, and that's a lie. That's a lie, no I haven't. I had it in a bob, and it was red, and it was black. Anyways, I'm super over my hair lately, and I'm really considering chopping it off into like a lob, like very Khloe Kardashian. So if in my next video I have super short hair, that means I decided to cut it. Normally I would say this is a perfect look for the holidays, and it totally is. I know it's not really the holidays yet, but I feel like everywhere I go, like there's Halloween stuff out, and I'm like getting catalogs with Christmas trees in them and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? It's September, it's crazy. So I guess like all these things around me that are like so holiday-esque are making me feel like it's the holidays, and that's, I guess, kind of like what inspired this look. But you totally don't have to wear this for the holidays. This is something you can totally wear just like for a night out, a dinner date, I don't know. Anyways, I haven't done a full out glam tutorial on my YouTube channel in a while. I feel like lately I've been doing a lot more talking videos, like talking about products and different things, and then the tutorials that I have done have been more daytime looks or more soft makeup looks. And I don't know, I just woke up today and I was in the mood for full out glam. So that is what I did. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Hey guys, what is up? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, which I have been absolutely loving lately, and I'm going to go into the shade Tempera to highlight my brow bone. This is such a perfect brow bone highlight color. I literally cannot get enough of it. Next, I'm going to go into my Lorac Pro 2 palette and go into the color light brown and start putting that directly into my crease. I feel like I never use this palette in any of my tutorials, and this is one of my all-time favorite palettes. Like if you follow me on Snapchat or Instagram, you know that I love the Lorac eyeshadow palettes, especially this one. So I'm super happy that I'm finally doing a tutorial using it, because that's going to be like the main palette that we use. The other palette that I'll be using in this tutorial is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, which I also really love. Right now I'm going into the color Milk Chocolate and just further defining my crease. I'm keeping this color more like concentrated inside of my crease than I was with light brown, because I wanted to add more depth. And now I'm just picking up the original blending brush that I started with to make sure everything is nice and blended together. Going back into my handy dandy chocolate bar palette, I'm going to go into the color Semi Sweet, which is just like a little bit of a darker, more rich brown than what we've already used. And I'm going to start to pack this in all over my lid. Whenever I'm packing on matte shadows to my lid, I really like to use a dense, fluffy brush, because I feel like it just packs them on more evenly and more airbrushed-like. And then I'm using whatever's left over on the brush once I'm done packing on to blend it into my crease so it's nice and blended and seamless. Going back into my Lorac Pro 2 palette, I'm going to be using one of my favorite colors from the palette, and that is Cocoa. And I'm going to start to create kind of like a smoky winged eyeliner type effect. So as you can see, I'm just using a really small tapered brush, and I'm running it straight up against my lash line and making it a little bit thicker on the outer edge, and then flicking it out to create some type of a wing, but it's like a very blended wing. I love this color because it's like a dark, dark, dark brown that's almost black, but it's still brown, and it's got a shimmer to it, but not a crazy intense shimmer. It's more of like this like sheen. It's just, oh, I just love this color. It's one of my favorite colors in the palette. So I'm just going to keep building that little smoky wing up until it's to the intensity that I want it to be at. So now I'm going to create an actual wing using a black gel liner. This is just the L'Oreal Blackest Black Gel Liner. I've talked about how I create my wing liner in a couple of videos, but I will say it again. I first start by creating a line straight across my lash line to give me like kind of like a base to work from. And once I have that line across my lash line, I'll go to the outer corner of my eye, and using a very small amount of product on the brush, I'll start to flick it out to start to create that wing-like effect, and then I'll start to drag it in to further thicken it and to perfect it a little bit more. So I'm kind of already following the wing-like shape that I created with the eyeshadow, so this is actually a lot easier to do than just freehanding it, because I kind of already have a wing there. I'm going to keep this wing a little bit on the thinner side because I am going to smoke it out in a little while, and that winged liner had me parched. I needed some coffee. Now let's start on the face, guys. So as always, I'm just going to go ahead and start with my Too Faced Hangover Primer. I love this primer. It's super hydrating, and you're going to feel that when you put it on, it starts to get like a little bit sticky. So it really does do a good job of holding and kind of like gluing your foundation to your face. I just love it. I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels. It's like a go-to for me. Look at that white splotch on my cheek. Thank God I got it. My goodness. So when I want a little bit more coverage, what I'll do is I'll go in with my Tarte BB tinted treatment and put like a thin layer of that all over my face, because you're going to see right now, this kind of already gives a nice coverage, and it really does do a great job of minimizing my pores and covering up any imperfections on my face. And since I wanted like a full glam, really full coverage look, I went ahead and primed my face with this also, just to give me a little bit more of an extra coverage. So I have absolutely no idea what happened to the clip, but the foundation I have on my face is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, which is amazing. I just put a couple lines of it all over my face, as you can see. And now I'm using the Becca Cosmetics liquid highlighter in the color Moonstone, and I'm just dabbing that kind of around my face so that when I blend it in, it all blends together and it gives me a nice luminosity to my skin. So now I'm just going to use my damp beauty blender and start to press that in all over my face. Guys, I have been absolutely obsessed with this foundation. It is so bomb. It's so incredible. I have nothing bad to say about it, honestly. It's amazing. So for concealer today, I'm going to use something other than the Tarte Rainforest of the Seas one. Complete shocker. This is the Maybelline Better Skin concealer. When I use this concealer, I do have to use two colors. I have to mix together light, medium, and light, because it's just, the colors are a little bit off, they're a little odd. So since I wanted a really full coverage look, what I like to do is I like to go in with a brush first and blend out my concealer using a brush, using little pressing motions. And then when I'm done blending it out, I'll just pick up my beauty blender to pick up any extra product. And I just find that this gives a little bit more coverage when you do it this way. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to get some product out of my Laura Mercier powder there. That packaging is so hard to get powder out of sometimes. I don't understand why. So I'm just going to go ahead and bake my face using my Laura Mercier translucent powder in all the areas where I normally crease. So under my eyes, my forehead, my smile lines. I'm going to let that sit, have some coffee while it's baking. And then I'm going to go ahead and wipe away all the excess, as I always do. So this was actually the first time I ever used this product. This is the Nars Luminous powder foundation. When I saw powder foundation that was luminous and not matte, I was like, haha, thank you so much, come to mama, let's go. I ended up loving it. It gives such a beautiful like sheen to the skin, but it gives a little bit more coverage than the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. So you can totally use this on its own, which is what I'll probably use it for, like for day to day, just by itself. But when I want a really full coverage look, it's nice to set your foundation with a powder foundation, just to give a little bit more of that porcelain doll finish. So now I'm just contouring my face a little bit using the Coastal Scents bronzer palette. This came in the BoxyCharm for the month of August or September, I'm not sure, but it came in one of the last BoxyCharms. I think it was August. And I'm using the matte shade to just define my cheekbones and then take a little bit up against my hairline so I have a nice even contour throughout my whole face. And now I'm going into the more luminous, like sheeny, shimmery type of bronzer, and I'm just dusting that right over the contour that I just did to give my face a little bit more luminosity and a little bit more warmth. I have to say I was pretty impressed with this palette. It blended out really nicely. So now I'm just using whatever Laura Mercier powder is left over on my beauty blender to kind of clean up my contour a little bit. And now I'm going into my Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics face palette and using the color Amaretto to just add a little bit of blush to my face. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes. I'm going to smoke out my winged liner a little bit. And what I mean by that is that I'm taking a little short, flat brush and I am going into a black eyeshadow and running it against the edges of my eyeliner to create more of like a smoky type eyeliner as opposed to a really sharp, intense eyeliner. I just prefer it sometimes, so that's what I was doing. So now I went back into my Lorac Pro 2 palette and I'm using the color light brown to smoke out my lower lash line. And now I'm going into the color milk chocolate and putting that on the inner and outer corners of my eyes to further smoke out my lower lash line. I am avoiding the center of my eye on purpose because I'm going to be doing a spotlight eye today. So the last color I'm going to pick up is the color Cocoa, and I'm going to start to run that on the outer and inner corners of my eyes to really give a nice smokiness to the lower lash line. So now for the star of the eyeshadow look, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay, what is it called? The glitter liner in the color Midnight Cowboy. And I'm going to start to apply that right in the center of my lower lash line where we left that empty space. I'm packing it on pretty heavily right in the center. And then once that dries up a little bit, I just like to take the little applicator and use whatever's left over to kind of dot around the edges of that splotch
if you will, to kind of help blend it a little bit more so it doesn't look so splotchy right there. So now I'm going to go back into my Lorac palette and I'm going to pick up the color Mocha, and I'm going to use that color to help blend that glitter into the rest of the eyeshadows. So I'm just going to the edges of the glitter and using that to blend out very lightly. Going back into my Anastasia palette, I'm going to go into the color Primavera, and I'm just going to wet it a little bit with my Fix Plus, and I'm going to highlight my inner corners. You do not have to use this color to highlight your inner corners. You can use any gold color. I just so happened to like this one and it was sitting in front of me, so that's what I used. So now I'm going to spritz over my entire face, and then I'm going to start to highlight. So I'm mixing together the colors Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop, and I'm just going to highlight away, guys, on the tops of my cheekbones, on my nose, on my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my forehead. And then I like to use whatever is left over on the brush on my chin. So when I'm in the mood to be extra glowy, this is a nice little trick I like to use. I like to go into the color Just Champagne Pop, smile, and then put it right at the tops of the apples of my cheeks. That way when I'm facing forward and I smile, you can still see my highlight. Because if you just put it on your cheekbones, you'll only see it when you're facing the side. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes, and these are the House of Lashes Iconic Lashes. I have never used these before. This was the first time I ever used them. And the reason why is because I had used the Cocoa lashes in the style Goddess, which are apparently dupes for these, and I was not crazy about them. I do like these a little bit more, but I don't really know how much I like them. I just want to show you guys that the struggle is real when you're putting on lashes. I was really struggling today. You know, there's days that you pop them on super easy, and there's days that you're on the struggle bus. Today was a struggle bus day for me. Look at that. But I haven't decided if I like these lashes or not. I will update you guys and let you know. So now I'm just going to tight line my my top eyelid with some black eyeliner so that it's nice and blended together with the lashes and the eyeliner, and then I'm going to apply some mascara to my bottom lashes. So now to finish up the eyes, I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills cream color in the color Honey and use that to line my entire waterline. I love a nude waterline with a dark smoky eye. I just think it looks so pretty and it really opens your eyes up. That's why I chose that liner. And now I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with the MAC lip liner in the color Oak. I am going to be going with the deep lip, so you can use a red if you want, but I just like to use something neutral to give me a base to follow when I'm applying my liquid lipstick. And for this lip color, I actually mixed two lipsticks together. The first one I used was Montenegro from Lipland Cosmetics. This is their collaboration with Amrezy. And then once I put that on and it dried, I went ahead and put a layer of Ofra Cosmetics Havana Nights right on top to give it a little bit more of a reddish look. And then once I'm done applying my lipstick, that is it. So this is the final look, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you're interested in seeing one of my videos, then please subscribe. I don't think I really have too much to say today, which is really crazy because I usually have a lot to say. So I'm gonna end this video quickly, but thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I got that. Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Okay. Get it together.